My name is Alicia Cooper. I'm a teacher, and I've been a teacher for 4 years. This is my 4th year.
Perfect. And how did you first become interested in your career?
I think I knew I wanted to be a teacher when I was in high school, and I was working at a pool teaching swim lessons. I was a lifeguard, but we also had to teach swim lessons as part of the gig, and I loved it. I just loved teaching, and I thought, maybe this will be a viable career option for me. You definitely need a bachelor's in education, minimum. So I went to the University of Hawaii and I got my bachelor's in elementary education. So then it comes with, when you get your bachelor's in education, you get certified in the state that you're in. And my certification was with the state of Hawaii, and it was for K through 6. It was valid for 5 years. If you cross states, you have to kind of get certified in other states, but you don't need to go to college there too. I think you need a lot of patience. You need a lot of patience, but also I would say people who are really hardworking and dedicated and driven. Okay, so that's different depending on what school you're teaching at, like what kind of school it is. So private schools can vary. Some pay more, some pay less than normal. And then district schools, those generally, the biggest thing with teaching is you just don't get paid enough. But the way that you start off, I know when I was working for a district here, you start off with a bachelor's at $39,000 a year, and then you move up on the pay scale based on your level of education. So the more that you have, the more you get paid versus just starting off at the same spot. And then you also move up on the salary scale in a normal district based on how many years you've worked in that district. So you go horizontally and vertically at the same time on the scale, and it increases your pay. But I'm at a public charter school right now, and so that's kind of a pay for performance school, and they pay also more than public schools do here, and they believe that as a teacher you're a professional and you should be paid as such. And so that school starts off with my position at $53 for every kindergarten teacher, and then you get paid more based on high performance, so the success of your students' ability to grow a year and a half of grade levels. So it's different for public charter schools, it's different for private schools, public, anything. But generally, it's not a lot, but, it's better than minimum wage, so. Yeah, so the school that I work at now, it's a high-performance culture there. And so it's completely different because we're just go, go, go all the time. There's never a second of the day that we're not stopped. But also, I'm a kindergarten teacher, and so you can't sit down. You can't rest. You breathe for 10 seconds, and they're all up. And so it's just kind of a high performance and also a high stress at times, but just a really energetic environment. My coworkers and my admin that I work with, I love every single one of them. It's such a success-based environment that success is not something that you strive for, it's what we breathe. And so, it's kind of like if you're not successful at something, all you need to do is reach out and you'll have the entire rest of the staff supporting you, helping you, and bringing you up to that level too. So it's so great. I love it. So a typical day in the life of a kindergarten teacher, I get up pretty early, drop the kids off, of course, and then when I get to school, I make sure everything I have is set for the day. So, my classroom's not a mess and everything's lined up. I know where to find things. I have my materials, my resources, and then when the kids come, my school, they can come early to school. They can be in my classroom, but they're capable enough to do some morning work and things like that before school actually starts. And then when school starts, we have about an hour and a half block of literacy, and then a short recess, and then an hour and a half block of math. And then we have lunch, and they have specials for about an hour, and that's my plan time. which is amazing. And then I try to get as much done as I possibly can during that plan time, because one thing with being a teacher, especially a lower ed teacher, is that there's so much work that comes with it that happens outside of school. So I try to balance a home life plus a work professional life, and I try to get as much done at work as I can for work. But after that, we have the afternoon, we have reading intervention time, so it's kind of like another literacy block. And then we have math groups where you pull small groups and then have kids work independently while you're pulling small groups to focus especially on areas of content that they need to work on per group, and it's leveled. And then we have snack time, of course, because the kids get hangry. And then we also have writing time, and we have literacy centers. And so it's the same kind of thing where I can pull small groups and work with the kids based on a need basis, not just blanket teaching everybody the same thing. So a challenge is definitely the pay, because nobody gets into teaching for the pay or that they think it'll be easy. And if you think it'll be easy, you're crazy. But it's so worth it. I mean, if you're passionate about what you do, it's worth it tenfold, because just seeing the difference between your kids the beginning of the year and the end of the year, it's rewarding, and it makes all of the long nights grading papers and working on report cards and trying to plan for the next day, it makes it so worth it. But a challenge is definitely time. It's hard. It's hard to balance that. But a good thing is summer break. You can have summer break off. That's awesome. And winter break is awesome too. Definitely, because you get to see your kids if they go to school with you, and you get to have weekends off always aside from what you do at home. But it's definitely worth it with all of those special days that you get with your kids, like snow days and things like that. But the challenges are different based on what type of school you work at. So district schools, there is little autonomy for teachers to be able to teach the way that they want to. And I've worked at 2 different public charter schools in 2 different states, and those were completely different from each other, but they were ran in a similar way that I enjoy teaching. That the first school I worked at, you don't get curriculum provided to you. You just get a little bit of curriculum money, and they say, good luck, find your own. So the autonomy there was huge. I mean, there was nothing but autonomy, and you got to figure it out on your own. But then the school that I'm at now, they have some curriculum and then also the autonomy to teach it the way that you want to. And so then with districts, it's kind of more, you have to do it this way. The district says, the state says this. And so that's a little bit difficult if you're teaching something that you kind of want to do a way that you've been thinking of doing it or anything like that. But it's different too with grade level and content area. Absolutely. I mean, it's all about families, and it's all about reaching kids and their families. And so, if you're not a family person, it'd be kind of hard to enjoy this job. But you get breaks off, you get random Mondays that are off, or you get things like that, and you are surrounded by people who are also family people as well. And so your kids grow up with other teachers' kids, and they grow up in your school and in your classroom and things like that. But summer break, winter break are definitely a bonus for this job. You can also teach summer school if your school offers summer school, if you need a financial little bump there. But I think that, you end up loving each one of your kids so much, and especially if you work at a Title I school like I do, where, kids need things that schools don't necessarily provide. You're out there buying them shoes and buying them winter coats and just things that they need that their families can't provide for them. But it's worth it. My favorite aspect of my job is watching kids realize that they can do it, and especially kindergarten. It's like them just clicking, understanding, and realizing that they can read by themselves is huge, because for the whole first half of the year, they're like, I can't read. And then, they read a book with me and they do it by themselves. And I'm like, you just read that by yourself. And they're like, what? I can do it. And it just sets them off on this path. And I love fostering their love for learning and trying to start their journey, their educational journey off with wanting to be a lifelong learner. I love that. Well, it's already been a lot different because of COVID. And so right now I teach a hybrid classroom, meaning I have 20 in-person kids and 4 online kids. And so I have a video camera that is on me all day and on my classroom. And then I have 4 kids who are online who are on Zoom. And so they're Zooming into my class. They see me, they, interact with the class, things like that. And then I can call on them. I can do whatever I please, but they also are doing the same thing as the in-person kids. And so we plan, me and my other kindergarten teacher at my school, we plan a week ahead, and we have a packet full of all of the resources they will need, like read aloud books or our worksheets or things like that, or seat work. And then we put it together and we offer it for them to pick up, or we put it on our Google Classrooms and they can print it off. So they're doing the exact same thing as the kids in person, but we're just hybrid teaching both. And luckily the school that I'm at is great with technology, with providing us the resources to do so, and the training and stuff like that. But I think one thing that's sad about the way that things might change is snow days. I think that they might get rid of snow days because now they know we can all work from home. So that's the only thing. But my school right now doesn't do snow days anyway, so it's okay. But I think that one thing that might change is just the use of technology. I mean, our eyes were opened as to how much we don't know about technology, and how the kiddos that are, these kids growing up in a COVID time are so much better at technology than us. So I think we have to prepare them for the future, and that means using technology when we can. Definitely to make sure that you're passionate about it and it's what you want to do. Don't listen to other people try to tell you that it's just an easy job when you don't know what you want to do, or it's something anybody can do, because that's absolutely not true. It's something you have to be passionate about, and you have to have the drive to want to be the best teacher you can be, and know that you'll never be the best you can be, and every year you just get better. As long as you have that growth mindset and the drive to want to make a difference in those kids' lives, you'll be successful.